On today's show, Alice is appointed to the board of directors. Wow, that's amazing in a dream. And John is told why he puts up with thugs in his work environment. Hello and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, everybody.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you, a soul on an earth journey. That's what you are. That's why we focus on dreams. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life right now at this very moment, then look no further than your dreams. Through analyzing them, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the superpowers that you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way. They are the way. All right, Sandy, what have we got for today?
We have several fun-looking dreams. Well, they look fun on the surface. You never know until Michael takes a look at them. But anyways, so we're going to dive right on in. Sound good to you, Michael?
Yes.
All righty. The first one is called The Bear, and it's from John. And in his dream, he's first feeling amazed. 100-pound cub. Not going to kill me, contemplating being friendly or running away. It is friendly or dangerous, and even if it appears friendly, at what point is it going to hurt me? So my decision with ambivalence is, because it's cute, is to bat at it. The bear was coming towards me, looking friendly, but I'm not sure about it, so I batted it on the nose.
All right, so he does the right thing, and this is the first part of a dream. And this is kind of an unusual set of dreams. This dream and the next one were sent in by the dreamer's wife. He doesn't even know. So he does the right thing. It's not good, though. A bear coming at you in a dream is going to be about your elimination system and a threat there. So something you're doing, something you're eating or drinking is not good for you and could cause a problem. Is it causing a problem for him now, today? No. How do we know that? Because he does the right thing. He even though he's not sure, and this is typically how dreams do it. You look at the animal and you think, oh, it's kind of friendly. Maybe it's not a threat, but it is a threat. There's no such thing as a good bear to have in your house in a dream or near you in a dream. And so he bats it on the nose. I love how he said he bats it on the nose. So it's like, this is the issue, and I'm going to hit the issue on the nose, deal with it. So perfect thing to do. It's probably because, well, if we continue on with the dream, we'll see something about it, but it's very likely triggered by something the dreamer ate or drank close to having the dream, like within a few days of having the dream.
Yeah, so this is the next part of the dream. It seems a little bit different, but I guess you're going to tie it together for us. So a full glass of fizzy water or yellow beer, easy to see through. It's in a pint glass. Needed to put it down. There were stairs going down into something. Put it on the edge of the top of the stairs. Lost control of right hand just a bit, so it tipped it and it started to fall over. Wanted to catch it before it fell over.
All right, so that's it. That's the end of that dream. So here, what is being told quite clearly is, well, when I channeled on it, you need to never drink alcohol. It's not good for you in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's beer or spirits or anything like that, your guides are saying, just don't drink it. It's not good for you. And I talked to his wife and she said that, he doesn't really drink, but if he ends up in social situations at work, then he will, because he doesn't want to be the odd person out, or he might have an alcohol-free beer. So it shouldn't be so bad once you know it's not good for you. And then when we see the dream that was immediately preceding this, or the part that was preceding about the bear, then we know it's even more serious. But we also see in the dream that he loses control of his right hand just a bit, and the beer tipped. So this is something he can't handle. And he even had a bit that I cut out where he tried to grab it and catch it before it fell, but he didn't manage to hit its arm. So it's basically he can't handle beer. That's what that last little bit is about. And when I was channeling on it to say, okay, what can he have instead? I was going through all the things that nobody ever wants to drink, unless your name's Sandy, like smoothies and green vegetable drinks and all that sort of stuff. And they were saying yes to the green vegetable drinks. and no to water. And I thought that was really strange. Why would they say no to water? And after a while, I thought, wait, sparkling water? And they said, yeah, he loves sparkling water. That's what he should stick with. But there it is at the top of this paragraph, full glass of fizzy water. So anyway, that's his choice. Vegetable drinks or sparkling water.
Did you check on wine for him?
Does it have alcohol in it? Oh, then I did. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh, poor guy. Well, at least you know he has an answer for any problems that he might be having. That was good. All right. His next dream, once again from John. This one's called Drug Lords. So this sounds like we got a theme there going, Michael. Driving on a road, maybe in California, because of the Mediterranean-like landscape, dirt/scrubs. We had pulled over. There were a couple of black cars parked along the side of the road. I know there was a boy there, the age 10 to 12. It was the younger me. I realized it after I woke up and looked like me at that age. We were on the other side of a horse fence from them. The people on the other side looked like Mexican drug people. They were all well-dressed and had 4 very muscular black dogs. The lead dude was very menacing looking. The dogs were something he controlled almost by remote, as if they were robots. He said they would be okay, but 3 of the dogs came over and put their paws up on the fence, like right in our face. Like the bear, it wasn't clear if we were in danger or not, but we knew they were extremely dangerous. I was complaining to the head drug lord guy to get them under control. It was a menacing situation. He pulled out what looked like a gun and gave it to the little boy, but the dogs kept coming. The little boy gave it to me, but as soon as I had it in my hands, the dogs put their paws down and ran off. Then I handed it back to the drug lord guy, who looked at me with his head cocked. I said, "What is that?" He showed me it was something that shot fire or lightning bolts or something. They know it really hurts. Want to try?
All right. So it seems kind of strange, but here's one thing to realize. The dreamer works for a pharmaceutical organization. So that's why the drug lords. All right. So what have we got? We have, because of the dirt scrub and the reference back to the bear and the threatening dogs, it kind of still carries that elimination system vibe. So that's a bit of a threat still, and he can't ignore it. But these dreams were all the same night, so that's fine. So we have a couple of black cars parked along the side of the road. So we know this dream is about fears. We see the dreamer at the age of 10 to 12 and also at his current age. The dream is drawing a line between a connection of something at the age of his younger self and today. He has adopted a habit today that he's using in the pharmaceutical company that he practiced, let's say, when he was much younger. And so when I was talking to his wife, she said that he had issues with his mom. He never knew what kind of mood she was in. And so he was always trying to help her. And when I channeled on this a lot, he calls them like drug lords. So it's saying the situation in work is threatening. The people in work are threatening. And he acts like, well, if I'm the good guy, I don't even need to consider the fact that these people are thugs. Their demeanor, their way of behaving isn't going to apply to him. So he just ignores that they're thugs. And this fits with the way his mom was. He used to ignore the way she was, and she was really hard on him all the time. And he learned to just switch that off, which is not a good thing. Switch off that he's getting treated badly all the time. And now he's in a work situation that isn't great for him, and he pretends that it isn't. And it's very frustrating for his wife because she's like asking, why does he do this? Like, why doesn't he do something about it? And this dream is saying like, he doesn't even see it. He just pretends that it's not happening at all. He focuses on being the good guy, ignores that he already knows that they're thugs, and he just chooses not to see it. So she's looking at one situation and he's looking at a completely different one. But what I do like in the dream is how it's explained, how his issue is really explained. He's given this device that would make the dogs afraid. At least that's what he's told. And that seems good because that would remove his fear. Because it's like, now I have something I can use that I won't feel threatened by the dogs. But unfortunately, he's given that device by the head guy, by the thug. And so it's an illusion. I'm going to give you this that makes you think that you're okay, that you have some sort of control and don't have to be afraid. But the sad part is it's just an illusion. He really doesn't have control because the dogs belong to that head drug lord. And it doesn't matter that he's given a device, they're still controlled by the drug lord. So my advice was to go back into the dream and shoot the guy with the taser or gun or whatever it happened to be, because it's a false sense of I'm giving you power that you don't really have. And that's what he has to overcome. That's the whole point of the dream. That type of persona is his Achilles heel. It's become his Achilles heel as a child with the issues with mom. And it's his Achilles heel now today with people who are just like her. And by shooting the guy and watching him fall to the ground and just say to him, like, go back into the dream and do that, and then just shoot him and watch him fall to the ground and then toss him the taser and say, yeah, that's great. That works fine. And like finish the dream off whatever way you want without any fear. That's the whole point. Like don't have the dog come after you because you tasered the guy. Have them go to their master, their injured master and all that sort of stuff. But that's basically what you want to do. Have I explained that dream properly, Sandy?
Yeah, I think you did. I was looking to see if there's anything. What does California have to do with this?
Because of the sun, it's going to be about healing. So it's trying to heal the elimination system with the sun, which is like a second theme of the dream. We find dreams will often link two different issues. So when he's in a stressful situation, like he is in work, it doesn't help his body. It damages his body too. So we see both.
And then we've got 4 very masculine dogs. I like to point out numbers.
So it's a limitation. This is something he has to overcome. This fear that he's living in. And we see the fear right at the start with the cars, the black cars. So he's living in a state of fear. He grew up in a state of fear with his mom. He learned how to manage that by just blocking it out. I'm just going to act like that isn't the case. It's not there. And that's what he's doing in this environment. And it's not healthy for him.
Yeah, several times he points out it's extremely dangerous. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
All righty. I think you did a good job on that one. Let's move forward to the next dream. And this is from Alice, and it's called Giving the Boy Candy. I like the idea of giving anybody candy. That sounds good. Was walking through an auditorium to a bank of elevators and down to a gym. I was looking for a young boy in a wheelchair that was playing basketball with other kids. I found him and gave him a wrapped candy. I said I had twisted one of the ends off, but it was for him. He thanked me and took the treat.
All right. So this one was a little bit tricky. I had to channel on it to get it accurately, and all the symbols still fit. It's fine. This person has a particular skill. She's able to help people. She has a team that works on the spirit plane for her, and she can say, here's what I want to happen in this particular situation for this person. And she can make it happen. And so in this case, she wants to help heal a friend of hers who's male. We know he's male because it's a young boy in a wheelchair. Of course, it's not a boy in reality. And so she has basically gone to her higher self, said, this is what I want to happen, and then brought this healing or treat. The fact that she specifically calls it a treat is always about hands-on healing. So she has this healing ability and she's using it to treat her friend. And she's twisted one of the ends off. So it's like she has stayed involved with this. So I'm giving you a treatment, but I've already opened one end of it. So part of me, another part of me, a higher part of me is going to be checking in on you and making sure that this healing sticks. It's quite a unique ability that she has, but it's lovely to see it played out in the dream. She knew she had it. So when I was saying, here's what happened, she's like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so we have an auditorium.
So she said the auditorium was empty. It's kind of like her framework because she's up above and then she goes down elevators to get to this person. His name is Jim. So she goes down to a gym, and it's just a pun in the dream. We see in a lot of her other dreams, this auditorium features. So we know from her other dreams, it's all about her activating her spiritual side. And so here we see her going through it, and it just draws that connection between her higher aspect and her aspect that's here on the earth plane, and her making this direct link between I've been up there, I've checked in on this, and I'm bringing healing from that plane down to you.
And then what about the wheelchair and then playing basketball?
Well, the wheelchair is, there's an issue with Jim at this moment in time. So she's working on helping heal him. And the wheelchair just shows an issue with this male friend. And the basketball is really about career. This is what she's meant to do. This is part of her spiritual abilities. And her angels had told her for a while, like, that she needs to be practicing this and getting used to it and good with it. And so it just, all the symbols fit. What makes it interesting is we typically would see a dream and say, okay, this is about you healing a masculine aspect of yourself. And so that wasn't the case here. That's really what the twist is. So it's still her skill, her spiritual ability that she's playing with in order to help him.
Wow, that's really a cool gift. I like that. Okay, let's move on. Should have jumped on the flight. Once again, this is from Alice. I was going on a flight somewhere, and I was going to be going with some man. I knew him in the dream, but no one I know in waking life. I had gotten to the airport. It was massive, ornate, a beautiful building. I hadn't parked the car, nor was the guy there yet. I had gone in and gotten info on where to park, so I was going back to park. Then I was waiting for the guy to come from work. We were there in the luggage area looking for my bag. He had to hurry to put his shoes and socks on, and I was a bit impatient with him. He never found my luggage, then went to the gate and found out we missed the flight, just barely. So we were riding back home, and at first we shared a seat, but it was too crowded, so I hopped over to my own seat, but held his hand. Then I said we should have jumped on the flight without the bags. Michael, we can relate to that dream in real life.
Well, yeah. Sandy has this beautiful trait where she's like, we could make it to the flight with 1 minute to spare. Wouldn't that be great? There would be no wasted time. Anyway, that's the life/wife I live with. All right. So going on a flight somewhere, that's really good. When we see a departure in a dream, it's about a new aspect of you taking off, like something positive, some new project, some new thing that you're doing. And she is doing a lot of new stuff in her life, all spiritual. So that's really good. And we would expect, in fact, when you're doing that, to see dreams like this, where it's kind of messed up a little bit. She's basically looking for her luggage, but she really needs to let that all go. And she knows that at the end of the dream, she says, we should have just got on the flight without the bags. I should just dive straight in and do these things. The key part really of the dream is that she is there with plenty of time to go. And so this says, don't be fretting. Don't be thinking that you're behind in what you're meant to be doing in your life. Everything's fine. You're ahead of the game. But she feels like she's not. And so her feeling like she's not shows up in the dream as this man who hasn't put on his socks and shoes right. He's not ready. He should really be ready. Ultimately, it's just a transitionary phase she's in, and everything's going to go really well.
Okay, so I have questions. So, riding back home, so they shared a seat and then too crowded, and then she got on her own seat. So what's that about?
She's doing all of this without a partner. Her partner died a few years ago, and she really would be loving to do this whole new phase of her life with him still around, or with somebody still around. She realizes, of course, that he can't be the one. And she's not looking for a partner or anything, but the dream is still addressing that and saying, look, this is the issue. This is kind of what causes you to hold back, because you have to do it all off the bat yourself. So it's addressing something that she misses, but it's still all her in the dream. Let's get you on board and into the next phase of what your life's about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's only a slight hint that there's something there. But the whole dream is about masculine side, right? Her and her masculine side.
Yeah, in this case, it's the double thing of I don't have a partner. I'm doing it on my own. I miss that. And this is a big issue for her. Not a big issue that makes her hold back, but it is more difficult to do something without somebody else there supporting you. And this guy in the dream is put in to help her have the support, the belief in herself, the confidence, all those things that masculine side represents. But he's the one holding her back. So we know that there's some negative thing about that. And the fact that she's holding his hand and sharing the seat and all that sort of stuff makes it like more intimate.
All righty. So we have one more dream from Alice. And this one's called Getting Named to the Board of Directors. Ooh, the title sounds good. I was filling up a silver bucket with 2 holes on top, and I was using 2 hoses to do it. We had filled 1 bucket already the same way and went on to another room to fill the other. I thought the supervisor was going to be mad, but he grabbed 2 of us and said he was putting us on the board of directors. I went to set in the auditorium up a handful of rows. I sat next to a woman that was ordering food via the phone and talking to the person that was going to sit in the seat I took. So I went down towards the front to sit, and someone came up to me and asked what was going on, and I said I was getting named to the board. I noticed I wasn't dressed very nicely, just had a t-shirt on, as did the other person getting named. I figured it'd be fine. Alrighty, Michael.
All right. So again, like I said in her last dream, things are taking off for her, even if she feels like they're not. And so filling up the silver bucket, silver is about intuition. We have the 2 holes in the top. I said, this sounds like an old math test that you would be given. 2 hoses to do it, filled 1 bucket. So it's like if you think of it this way, I've achieved my bucket list and now I'm moving on to something new, something spiritual. That would be the way to kind of look at this piece. And then I thought a supervisor was going to be mad. So she's in this position of thinking, I'm behind the game in some way. I'm not where I should be. But she's told, no, look, you're further ahead than you think. You're actually being put on the board of directors. That's huge in a dream. So I say all the time, if I see a director in a dream, then I will channel to see, is the dreamer an angel or a guide or something high level? But she's the director. So that's even more significant. So she's in the spirit world. She's very prominent, very important. And we see that in many of her other dreams. And I do have another one, but I don't know if we're going to have time for it today. But this is really good. And then, so we see her in the auditorium, like we saw at the start. And I was saying, this is about her spiritual place, spiritual level. And same thing in the other dream. So she doesn't really know where to sit. She's trying to find a place, doesn't want to put people out. We see the woman ordering food. So we know she has a healing ability. So we see that healing ability used in the other dream where she's got the candy treat. And then she goes down to the front to sit more closer to the important part. But she should really be sitting up with the other directors. Somebody comes along, says, what's going on? She says, I'm getting named to the board. But again, she looks like, and she says, I'm not dressed nicely. I just have a t-shirt. So this is just a choice. It's your choice. You're on the board. You've already made the choice, but it's your choice to be okay with this. You don't have to do anything. You're just being called out. It's absolutely fantastic. This is like a dream that people would pay to have. That's how good this dream is.
Wow. So we've got 2 holes and 2 hoses. So what's going on with the 2s?
She's a fantastic channel. She's really, really good at channeling. So we see that in the dream. She has some pretty unique gifts. Like we talk about gifts all the time on the show, and we talk about pretty commonplace ones. She has some very uncommon gifts, which is just terrific for her. And she's tried them out and they've worked. And, it's to have a team. Not many of us are told you've got a team in the spirit world that if you want to do something or have something taken care of, you've got people working for you on that side. Most of us don't. Most of us, it's like, what are you learning about yourself, Michael? That's what it's all about. Whereas she doesn't have any of that. and it's all about her helping other people, specifically light workers. And she's particularly good at helping them activate their gifts.
Yeah, so we've got a t-shirt, not being dressed nicely. What's going on with that?
So t-shirts are about choices. So it's like when you see a t-shirt, it's kind of like I have a choice or I'm wearing the choice. I know I have a choice to make. And the choice is simply just sit on the board. Realize that that's your position. Don't be looking around and going, okay, where else can I sit? Where can I feel comfortable? That's not your place. Your place is on the board.
Wow, that's amazing. What a cool dream. Will we have time for one more, Michael?
We don't have time for another one, but I would just say this about the next one if we had gotten to it. She's in the dream at the very start. She's going to a place to interview somebody. And that this is, and she's going to interview them at 10 a.m. So what's interesting is I always say if you're in an interview room or a conference or things like that, usually you're always the one like undergoing the exam or being interviewed, etc. She's the interviewer, a bit like being a part of the board of directors in this dream. So that really says that when it comes to people's lives and life purpose, she's one of the team that sits on the board that reviews a person's application to get a spot on the earth plane. That's her prominence. Like, that's a fantastic thing. I dare you to have a dream where you're the interviewer. It's going to be hard.
That's cool. Well, Michael, I don't know that we have any time for anything else. So I say, I hope everybody has a fabulous week and enjoys the show.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.